watching the News Hour at 9.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. When it was Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, who wanted to carry on with the Kanwar Yatra in Uttar Pradesh, there was the entire ecosystem that was virtually on their feet protesting against this in COVID times. What they said was that this would lead to multiplication of cases, even though Uttar Pradesh seemed to have numbers that were extremely in control. On the other hand, there is the Kerala government that has given relaxations in Eid shopping, and they are even going to go to the Supreme Court and say that it was justified by them to actually give these relaxations because everything in Kerala is under control. The question really is, look at the graph of the way cases have been rising in Kerala versus the graph of what was happening in Uttar Pradesh. Is there any ground for Kerala to continue with these relaxations rather than be absolutely on the watch for a possible third wave owing to the various concessions given to Eid time shoppers? The question is, why are there different ways to look at two different festivals of two different religions? And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the question that goes out tonight on the News Hour, that's the only legitimate question. Is vote bank above COVID war? That's the question that we have to ask today, Kerala, just as we asked Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. The debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight is Mr. Sebastian Paul, ex-minister of the CPIM government in Kerala. Mr. Paul, I want to read out a few numbers to you. June 20th, you had about 248 cases in Uttar Pradesh of COVID. Kerala at that time had 11,594 cases. Come to July 5th, 137 cases in Uttar Pradesh, 12,000 plus cases in Kerala. And today, July 19th, there are, in fact, on July 18th, 81 cases in Uttar Pradesh and 16,000 plus cases in Kerala. I want to ask you, for those 81 cases, the entire opposition rank and file was up in arms against the UP government, and they had called various names to Yogi Adityanath saying that he was doing this for appeasement, for vote bank. You don't even have an election in Kerala, Mr. Paul. Why would you want to take a risk with COVID, with already 16,000 plus cases, and giving such relaxations for which the Supreme Court has given you a notice and you have to appear before the Supreme Court tomorrow with numbers like this? Mr. Paul.
Yes, the answer is that we have no elections in the near future. Our next election is only in 2024. So there is no question of appeasing any section of the population at this stage. If at all it is an appeasement, it is not only we are appeasing Muslims, but others also. The state government has permitted 10,000 pilgrims to enter Shabarimala temple also. Because for the last 71 days, there was a strict lockdown in the state. And a brief respite was given on the eve of Bakrid for retailers to open their shops and people to have purchases there, essential purchases in anticipation of this festival. So there is no it is unfair to compare the situation, this Bakrid situation in Kerala with the Yatra situation in Uttar Pradesh. I am not arguing on the basis of figures. I am happy that the COVID situation is under control in UP. I am most happy. We in Kerala are also trying our best to make the situation, to bring the situation under control And I think it is under control and we will manage
This
the
is not
situation
appeasement,
in the
says
near future.
Mr. Paul. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, do different rules apply to different religions and different states and different political parties? Because the opposition targeted the BJP chief minister in Uttar Pradesh, but they say it's all right in Kerala, even though the numbers are 16 plus thousands versus 81 in UP and festivals being allowed in Kerala. Isn't that appeasement?
Hello, there is not a
Navika,
situation in
can I
Kerala.
respond, please? Navika, this is a textbook case of blatant appeasement where the state government is abdicating its responsibility. And I'm reminded of the time when there was Kumbh Mela. There was a lobby that was working. Ye Kumbh Mela kaise ho raha hai? And even when the Uttarakhand chief minister said, we will not have Kavadiya Yatra, these people started attacking the UP government. When the numbers are minuscule, far lesser than Kerala. And at that time also a responsible chief minister said, if the Supreme Court doesn't want it, and then we submitted an affidavit and we said we will not have Kavadiya Yatra. But even in Kerala, when the numbers are so high, they are not worried about the same very citizens they're trying to appease. They're risking their lives. And that is the sad part. I am hoping that some sense would prevail on them even before the Supreme Court would reprimand them. And they will take a decision which is in the interest of the citizens of Kerala.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, whichever political party it is, it's not really the COVID war that occupies the mind space. If it is Kerala, they're looking at appeasement. If it was UP, they waited for the Supreme Court to give its verdict. The question is, can we as people of India allow a third wave to happen because of the errors we make or governments belonging to certain political parties make? Certainly not. It's really up to us to demand accountability because we matter. The people of India matter and we have to dictate our terms, elections or no elections. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the News Hour tonight. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.